Yeah.
What really motivates you to do more, to learn more, to just
First lesson he told me, don't do anything for free.
there was not a point where he said, no, I don't think I can do that.
It's so competitive. To get your first hours to get in there, like you gotta know somebody. It's so complex. It's so many people. It's so competitive.
Hey. I am so excited for this particular episode, but first, welcome to Occupy Our Spaces, the podcast. As you already know or not, my name is Yejide, and with me today is
Alaba.
the Ife Alaba. Before we introduce the third person here, I don't even know if I want to do the introduction myself, but I love to call him Unc, as in UNC. And that's not just because I came up with it. I wonder who came up with that, but we're going to find out today. But that was one nickname that I knew him as, and I've enjoyed calling him that since. But in the professional world, I just call him Joe. Today, I have with me the very Joseph Kisusi.
That's my government name. That's my government name.
Joe is
You guys
such
are
a
aging me.
But Joe is such a creative man. He's such a creative hat. And we're going to talk about him in a second. But first, I'm going to get Phil about to tell us why we're here, what Occupy Our Spaces is all about, and why you have brought our very own big brother here.
Yeah, where we brought Grandpa Joe on here. So Occupy Our Spaces is an avenue for Black creatives to thrive, where we empower, educate, and elevate Black creatives in Newfoundland and Labrador. We have workshops, we have film camps, we have mentorship programs, and we decided, why are we just going to do all of this when we can also add podcasts to the list? Yep. And we want people in Newfoundland and Labrador to watch. We want people in Atlantic Canada to watch. We want people in Slovakia to watch.
Afghanistan, if you can.
Yeah,
Slovakia?
watch. And yeah, and I'm so
Brother, telepathy.
You guys ain't insane.
I'm excited to have Uncle Joseph.
Maybe we could start with that. Why do they call you Unc?
I think maybe it's because I possibly could be an uncle to
That's
some
'cause you're
people
old
here.
already.
I'm old. I'm old, but yeah.
When did that start?
So one of the guys in the community, the younger guys that I was living with, I was living them at when I was going to university. I was in Gambia. Shout out 27 Gambia. It was a very, very it was a very interesting. It was a very interesting house. It was a unique house. But in that house, I was probably the oldest out of everyone, and then I was trying to give advice to the young guys on how to live and how to be, adults. And then so maybe then they just labeled me as uncle.
Okay, was that how the creative process started for you?
The creative process,
Your area of creativity in film, camera, all of that, or were you doing it before you met them?
I was doing it before I met them. I'd say I was still a little creative even before moving to Newfoundland when I was still in Tanzania, because I'm originally from Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. And the creativity started then. I think I was using my phone maybe, and I was taking some pictures, and I always had probably a little bit of a creative mind. So I used to have little editing softwares I would use to color my pictures and do a little bit of graphics. So it started off before. And then when I transitioned, I came over here, it expanded, got bigger.
Now here you are.
And now here I am.
Like, do you like being on this side of the camera?
I do not like being on this side
I
at
don't care
all.
about that.
I don't like talking about myself.
Why not?
I don't know. I really don't know. I just it's something that you got to do, but I love being the watcher. Like, have you guys seen the TV show Joe?
No.
No, Joe, you.
You,
Yes. My bad. My bad. I'm tripping. It's you.
And the
But
character's
the guy's name is
Joe.
called Joe.
Yeah.
And he always had a hat. I always used
Please
to wear a
don't
hat.
say you like to be.
No, I don't like to be, but it's kind of funny. That guy's name is Joe, and I always used to wear.
I feel like this has turned into an intervention because
Yeah.
that man is a stalker.
I
He's
know.
a murderer as well. In this economy.
Okay,
you
not
cannot
to
be
that
doing
extent.
Okay.
Not to that extent,
But
but
I
that
get what you
guy
mean.
is.
It's the vibe.
It's like I'm an observer. I like to watch. I like to see people. I'm like a fly in the wall. I like to see what's going on and study the environment and know people. And
So each time that you call me an observer, I must just send it back.
which you also have the skill, and I see it in you.
They
You-
see it in
I see it, and I've seen it
They
a
see
couple
a
times. I'm
stalker
like,
in
this girl is
you.
ahead, like 5 steps ahead of time. I see her, and I'm like, wow, she's good.
Not the guest. And this is the second episode of saying that.
But you said that you did it a bit before you got
Yeah.
here. When you got here, what inspired you to just carry on doing it?
When I got here, shout out to Steven Mwita. He's also a Tanzanian guy. We started when we moved into Gambia. It was my brother, my younger brother, and then this other guy called Steven. And Steven, during the summer, I came in January, which is winter time, and then when we were transitioning into the summertime, he had a camera in his room. And then I went into his room one time. I was like, "You have this camera. What are you doing with this camera? Do you use it?" And I'm like, "He's like, no. Can I use it?" And I was like, "Oh, summer's out. The birds are out." And I was like, "Okay." He said, "Yeah, go ahead, take it." So I think that's where it started to manifest and it started to grow from then onward. So big shout out to Steven. I think if I didn't see that camera in that room, I probably wouldn't be here.
Wow.
So I started using his camera. I took a bunch of pictures of everything. I was just going out shooting birds, shooting people, shooting my younger brother. He was playing basketball on the university team, Memorial University. And so that's how it kind of started to grow and then caught some attention of the sports coordinator at MUN. And he was like, "Hey, can you take pictures of some of the team
Wow.
players? Can you take headshots?" And I was like, "I don't think I've taken headshots before,
But I could try.
but I can try. I can go on YouTube and figure it out."
Tell him that you've never taken headshots before.
No.
Okay, great. I was gonna be like, that's the honest is.
But he probably believed in the skill. It's like, okay, he probably can do it. And I was like, I guess I can. And then so that's how it started off. And then now it's this is what it turned out to be, which is amazing. I didn't think this would ever come to fruition like this in my life ever.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't something I thought about at like 10 years
And
ahead.
now it's become a full time.
It's a full-time thing. It's paying for everything. It's my whole life now. I don't even know what else I can't even think of anything else I could be doing. Maybe a professional basketball player, but that's not gonna ever happen.
Where's the time to practice?
I'm done. I'm ready and I'm finished. My knees can't take it anymore. I'm finished.
All right. So you did a whole lot of stuff. Which one was your very first one that you were like, "Oh my gosh, I did that"?
Okay, so the first couple of years for me, say maybe 2015 to the end of 2017, I was basically a photographer. Right, so I started off with photography because I didn't know how to transition from photography to video at the time. I was just kind of focused, okay, I have a camera, let me upgrade my lens, I take a couple of shots, I did some graduations and whatnot and all that. So 2017 is when I went to visit one of my friends who lives in Houston. His name is Rico, shout out to Rico King, and he owns Black King Entertainment. So he's been shooting for a long time prior to me starting any of this. So we started talking about, "Oh, you got into, photography and camera work?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah." Well, I went over there and so I was there for like 2 weeks. And then so he gave me the crash course into video because he was already editing videos and he was shooting a music video at the time, I think. So I doubled in. He's like, "Hey, come through. Let me show you how I do this." I'm like, "Okay, great." And after that, he had the Adobe subscription, which is your editing platform for Premiere Pro and all that stuff. And then so usually when you subscribe, you get 2 sign-ins. So two people can use it at the same time. And he was like, "Yo, I actually got an extra sign-in. You want to use it so you can..."
That is so nice. You know how expensive Adobe is.
I know, right?
By the way, or Alaba, pay me back for my Adobe. Do you know how expensive Adobe is for someone to does he have an extra sign in
Yeah.
still?
No,
Are you still
not
on-
it.
Are you still on his Adobe?
No, I had to cancel that. And I was like, he said, "You're good now. You're a makeup career. I gotta give it to somebody else. You're finished. You're good now." So that's how I kind of got the crash course into video, and which has become my biggest passion so far is video creation, because you just can tell a lot of more stories with video work.
Mhm.
And so that's how I kind of got into video. The first video that I ever did was with the guys, my friends, the roommates,
Yeah.
everybody I knew. So they were my first test subjects. I was like, I have all these friends with me here. I might as well use them while I can. Hey, I got this camera. Let's go try some stupid stuff. So I went over and shot with them. It was a house. I went over into the house. I showed them. They were watching a soccer game, and some people were in the kitchen cooking something, and they were
Oh,
just everybody was just having fun. They saw the camera, they were laughing. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I put the cool song underneath it. I was like, yes. And I was like, this is good. But in the beginning, it just took so long to figure out all the stuff. And then from that video, I think the barbershop, 1949 barbershop, in the beginning was at Merry Meeting. And then Gustavo, the co-owner,
Mhm.
even Yao wasn't even the co-owner at the time. So it was just Gustavo. He said, hey, can you come do a video, a quick video for the shop? And he said, I'll pay you. And I was like, I was trying to go do it for free because I'm trying to learn.
Mhm.
I was like, you don't have to pay me. He's like, no. He said, first lesson he told me, don't do anything for free.
Okay. Thank you. Say that
Gustavo
one more
said
time.
it multiple times. Don't do anything for free.
Okay.
Lesson number one.
Lesson number one is like, okay. I was like, okay, I'm trying to learn, so I can probably do it for free. But it was like, no, always charge, even if it's very low, charge. I'm like, okay, great. So I went and did that, and he paid me, I don't know, like probably $150 at the time. And I was like, okay. I was like, I was gonna do this for free, and I got $150. Okay, let's go. So that went, and I was pretty impressed with that video. And then so another person saw the video on Facebook. That's the good thing about being in Newfoundland. Everything just kind of
Recycle.
it's recycles, and it snowballs. Another person saw the video, and he was like, give me contact with the guy. Can he do weddings? And I'm like, can I do weddings? How much are we paying? And then it's okay, $1,000. Okay.
So
I can do weddings.
I can do weddings.
That's it.
How long will it take me to learn the skills to do a wedding? At the end, and it worked out. So I was like, okay, I can see this. This is something here. I'm like, I'm tapping into something here. But in the beginning, I wasn't really thinking about making money. Right? I wasn't thinking of this as a career. I was just thinking this is probably a cool hobby I can do while I'm in university and I'm working part-time. And I can make a couple $200, $300 doing this. So, okay, let's go. Right. So that's how I think at that point I started to realize, and people were already telling me, yo, you can make money out of this. I'm like, you can make it a career. I'm like, I don't see it yet, but I'll keep learning because I want to learn some more before I can actually say I'm good at this.
Yeah.
So I'm still a student to this day, but that was how it kind of developed. And then so it just became bigger than what I thought it would. But in the beginning, I never thought about turning into what I'm doing now. I never thought about it at all.
You know what I love the most about Uncle's story is that there was not a point where he said, no, I don't think I can do that, which is something I do often, but you go.
No, yeah, that's really true. Like a lot of times,
This is
like
really
if it's a
true.
hobby or something, people just like, I'll keep it in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I'll keep it like just over here until like I reach the pinnacle of what I think I can know
Yeah.
until I put it out there in the world. But talking about that, like you said, this is something that you were gonna keep as a hobby, and people said you could do it. What was that final push for you to get there? And then you ended up working corporate, doing media, and you're actually a corporate person until like a second ago. So, so what was that final push?
The final push that got me thinking, okay, this is I think because I'll push back a little bit, a little backstory. I during my whole education and because I did my undergrad in Tanzania before coming here, so I came here to do my master's. So even doing my undergrad, I honestly didn't have a clear goal of what I'm doing, and I don't know if everybody goes through that. But
Yes.
like
Oh, gosh.
I did not know. I didn't have a plan. I just knew, okay, I'm going to school. I'm getting this certificate. My dad told me this is a safety net. You need this. If you don't have this, anything else fails.
You have that.
You got your certificate, and you might get a job at a bank.
Yep.
Right. So that's something that was in my head. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to school. Even with my master's, program, I'm still like, what am I I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. So when this was developing during my time here, and I could see it flourish, and I could start to make the connections, and I could see this snowballing effect happening. It finally hit me, I think, in 2019. And that's by that time I already collected a couple of gears. I had a camera, and I was doing some weddings, and I was doing this and that. And I tried to do as many things as possible because I wasn't sure what exactly that I liked.
Yeah.
And so when 2019, 2020 came along, I was in Toronto. I was doing cinematography with my, I probably didn't tell that story. I went back to Toronto to meet up with my friend after because I left Houston. And then so he invited me over to do cinematography for his documentary, which hasn't still been released yet. It's still in the process. With not really a clear skill level of doing cinematography, but he trusted me just by the work that I did. And we were so close. And I started to see it, and I was like, man, I could actually do this. You know, I think him calling me over, and then we did a bunch of shots in Toronto. He showed me a couple other things in Toronto when I was there with him for like probably 3 to 5 months. And then coming back, the more work I got, the more I was getting more confident with what I'm doing. And finally in 2020, I came back and I shot something for a very good friend of mine that I play basketball with here a lot. And he worked for this agency called Bread Group, which is a digital marketing company. And so he was like, I shot the video. The boss was really impressed with the video. It was like a commercial video for like, it's called Rock Sports. It's a sports program that they have. And he was like, man, I really, really love your work. What do you think about doing a full-time position with us? And I said, yeah. So I sat down with it for a little bit, and I was like, I need that full-time position so I can get my PR.
Bruh. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Yo,
said I sat down.
I sat with myself. I said, sit here. I need that full time.
I need
4 p.m.
Yes.
For those who are watching,
If I don't like it, I'm sitting down with myself because I need it for my PR.
yeah.
I didn't know what exactly we were gonna do on the bigger scale with the company. Like I knew it was digital marketing, so it'd probably be a bunch of stuff that I could probably be able to do. But I was like, okay, I got
papers.
I was about to say, did you mean public relations? Oh, did you mean
yes, that's what it.
permanent residence?
Yeah. So you want to give them a context of what the PR is? You think it's something people don't know? They don't know?
No,
Chris don't actually.
No, they don't know. Because they don't know how many paperwork, how much paperwork, how much money we pay for that.
Yeah.
I feel like people have no clue how dangerous it is to be a full-time creative.
Yep.
As an immigrant.
Yeah.
And like you don't even think about it. Like, you know how like we're just like, yeah, we figure it out, and hopefully you don't be walking back to where you came from.
The blink of an eye.
She's like,
Back.
and then whoops.
Go be
But,
creative.
even like just the daily aspect of just like, should I not get a 90? Should I get a 9 to 5?
Yeah.
That's bank
Yeah.
just to get my permanent residency
Yeah.
first, and then I can go back into film. I can go back into being a creative. So like the fact that just kind of clicked.
It worked.
It happened. I was like,
Is
because
crazy.
I was having a little bit of dilemma too, because at the time, shout out to Mike and Kerry, they gave me an opportunity to work on set for the first time and actually get an experience that was amazing for me, which growing up or moving here, I never really thought that industry was attainable for somebody like me. So I was like, okay, I never even thought about it. I was like, okay, that doesn't exist here, because I've probably never seen it too
Yeah.
with my own eyes. Maybe a couple of times I've seen a couple of cameras. I'm like, oh, they're shooting something. That's amazing. I would love to be there, but I never thought about, getting into it. As a grip, the first time I worked on set, and then so I think it was Micah or Phil's Salmon. She emailed me again, said, hey, Joe, you want to come on? We have an opportunity for you. You want to come on set again to do camera, to be in the camera department. I was like, oh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I want to get into the camera department. I want to see what that is, because I see when I was working before, I was on grip, so I couldn't really see what they were doing with the camera, but I wanted to do that. So now that was it. It was such a dilemma because I had to make a decision either to go do that or
take the
accept the
stable
full time,
option.
take the full time job that can guarantee me a full time position, PR, right?
But like, how hard was that decision to take? I guess instability of exploring set and exploring maybe even becoming a camera person in
Yeah.
different like type of shows versus this corporate market
Yeah.
where it enables you to get your permanent residency that would then enable you to have your creativity.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think it was a choice. I didn't have a choice for that one. It's either, you want to stay, you want to stick around here, or or time's gonna clock
You
out
got
and you
to
gotta
go.
go, or you gotta go. This is not my my country. So
Go be creative. Go crazy.
so whether I liked it or not, I had to make the decision. I was like, okay, as time goes, maybe when I get my PR, I can kind of go back to that again. So, but I kind of ended up staying for probably 4 years with my corporate job. But I would have loved at the time, if I had the opportunity, I would have loved to go on the camera and figure out what that was and how and where I could go with that.
Yeah.
But the other aspect happened.
But just for people watching, that doesn't mean that you going into the industry, that doesn't like you going the unstable way or whatever the word is,
Yeah.
means you can't get your PR. Like there are people who have
Yeah.
done it, but it's just like who is tough in these streets.
Especially an international
Yeah.
person, right? An immigrant coming in. Yeah, it's not the easiest.
So what? So now that you're you're breaking free, sorry, and you're no more corporate. How's that life like?
This life right now, it's freedom. It's this freedom, and it's also scary at the same time.
Wow.
It's also freedom and scary at the same time because I'm like, okay, I'm out here and I'm getting to work on different projects right now. I've connected with so many people. Kerry's put me on a lot of her projects, and
Shout out to
which
Kerry.
I couldn't have if I was still working with the company full time. But it's so much. I'm getting so much satisfaction from this because I'm learning new things and meeting up with so many different people, and my connections are even expanding even more. It's not like when I was working in the corporate job, it wasn't, but this is just more in the field of what I want to do. I was kind of restricted and limited to what I was doing when I was working corporate. So, but I'm loving it.
So what's scary about that?
The scary is that, when you're working full time on, salary basis, you kind of know how your year is going to go. Right. But now with this one's more like you're kind of you're picking up contract jobs here and there, and you're trying to establish your position in the industry and how you're going to consistently make more money, which there's more room to expand if you step on the gas. There's more room to expand even bigger. But with the corporate work, I was, like I know exactly I'm gonna make this much money, and the year's gonna go like this, so I'm like okay, I'm just gonna relax because I know I'm gonna get that. But this one I kind of go, I gotta go out there and market myself and put myself out there and connect and expand.
So that's you just touching on what might be a barrier or what might be a challenge. But before we go deeper into that, because I would like to explore that a little bit, what really motivates you to do more, to learn more, to just shoot, to just go,
To put your foot on the pedal.
and just
So is that how you put the foot on the pedal? That's how you pedal.
just not thinking about it. I don't think I'm aggressive like that. But yeah.
Yeah. So what motivates me right now is I was single for a long time prior, but now I have a whole family with me. I've grown.
Listen, I feel like I cannot be anywhere in any room for you guys to not pressure me about how you have found love and you have found like. And if I found you a single for
Love is sweet though.
Okay, you found love.
Found love, and I got married last year.
Shout out to
Yes, shout out to my wife, Kier.
Couples.
Yes. And I became a dad this year.
shout out to your baby girl.
Yes, shout out to Zoe.
Oh, guys, we're the tissue in this room.
That's so they're my biggest motivation at the moment. I
blushing?
gotta do what,
You have to.
allow me, please. Please allow me to blush.
To wait.
They're my biggest motivation right now. Like they're my world. I gotta create the right environment for her to flourish and become the person she is. Like if I don't create the environment, like I don't want it to be really hard for her. So it's always my number one thing person in my head right now, and my wife. I gotta create the right environment for them. So like I gotta go out there. I gotta expand. I gotta get bigger than what I am right now. Solely because it's not just me anymore. I got some people. I got two people that look to me, and I gotta provide for them. So
You've done so much already. Like when I think of Joe, I think of like the OG. Like it was just like
100%.
Like when I think of Joe, I'm like, oh, Joe Views. I didn't even know your surname for like the longest time.
everybody thought my last
Like
name
I was just like,
Views.
that's what I was like, wow, Views, so unique. What a wow. But like you make a lot of like documentary style
Yeah.
content and things
Yeah.
like that, and you've actually won an award for your document. What is it called? The NL Arts and Letters Award.
Yes.
How did that come about? What was, I knowing you probably just pressed submit and you're like, yeah, whatever. And then you're like, whatever happens, happens. And so how did that come about?
I did a piece on Black Lives Matter when it happened, when the George Floyd thing happened,
Yeah.
and so they did the rally was at the Confederation Building.
Yeah.
I think it was the Confederation Building. So I was out there, and I just wanted to go out there and support and put it out there. So I was like, let me just bring my camera with me and let me go out there and shoot and document the moment and express it the way I see it, and and so I just put something together. I was sitting down, I just put the song and the visuals, and everything came together pretty well, and then Kerry again.
So Kerry again. Shout out to Kerry.
Carrie's a plug. She's amazing. I don't even know if she knows how amazing she is.
I don't think she
with,
does.
with helping the community. She's the best. So she let me know about this, and I was like, okay. I was like, I almost didn't even think about it, and I was like, okay, let me do this. I gotta put it out there because sometimes I'm too what's the word? I like to just keep stuff to myself. I don't like people. It could be.
I think it's humility that you're looking for.
Yeah.
I felt the right words the first time because
I
you
need
said I
to
don't want to
express
see
myself out, and that's where like the Nigerian aspect. Tanzania. I think Tanzania struggles with too much humility.
Yo, that's crazy.
What do you mean? We're humble to where you
Nigerian
going with
to me,
this?
you guys. I don't know who's been teaching you guys, but you guys are like.
Our ancestors. What
Shout
do you mean?
out,
Yeah.
shout out to
my
my
I
ancestors.
gotta give you guys preps. Like you guys
Shout
are like.
out for the audacity.
Like the confidence.
You guys go at it, and I'm like, yes. I'm like, damn, these guys are confident. I'm like,
Shout out to the country in itself. It's got
yeah,
a whole.
you have to be.
You have no choice.
You have no choice. You kind of have to be aggressive. You have to go get it. And Tanzanians are a little laid back, and we're just like, oh, humility, and it's a good thing, but it also slows us down a little bit because we feel like, oh, we can't be
But that's
aggressive
why
and get it.
partnership is good. Because
Yeah.
when you partner with like different people from different places,
Yeah.
it can push you to
Yeah.
like I know like when Joe and I have conversation, Joe pushes me to like slow down, think about like the long run, the perspectives and stuff, and I'm just like, we gotta do it, and we gotta do it now.
You gotta see the bigger picture. You're like, no. I'm like, okay. I'm telling you to slow down. It's like we gotta go. Right? So I'm like, so when I put it out there, and then I was like, okay, I'll just put it out there. I wrote a couple of stuff. I don't even know if I was even just because I was like, I never win anything. I'm not that lucky. So I was like, I don't think this is gonna happen. And then I was like, oh, they gave me.
So who me?
I like-
Me said me.
I was like, wow, okay, great. But then that really was a good thing for me because it opened up a lot of doors for me too to connect with more people, and people started knowing my work. And I was like, okay, it's good. So I got to keep doing more of that.
Yeah.
But I got to get out of myself sometimes.
Just from what you just shared with us here now, one of the things that stood up to me is how important the people that you surround yourself
Yeah.
with, how important that is. Being in the community,
Yeah.
what has helped you, what has shaped you as a Black creative to keep going regardless of the space that you find yourself? regardless of the colors of the people in the room that you.
Do you even think about that?
Yeah, that's cross your mind because each time you're here, like,
It's
no, with all your advice.
you're
Is it really like, it's not a big deal. I don't even want to say all the things that she's saying
because
because
if I say it, I'm vexed.
are you not in the same room as me?
It's like, do we have different? Are you wearing? Am I wearing?
See, does it bother you? Does it bother you?
It does, yeah. It does, but where you guys are trying to take me? What do you guys?
No.
You guys want to take me somewhere?
No, we just want to know because honestly, like when I get on a set,
Yeah.
right, and this is just in terms of how I grew up, knowing that I'm the only Nigerian or whatever. And I always do, like they call it white sports, white, I'm always taking the white activities. I know that it's just me.
Yeah.
So I act accordingly, or my mindset is like a certain way. So how I react to things will either be based on that. I feel like you're just like, it is like, I don't feel like you think about it. It doesn't matter to you.
No, of course I think about it, but you just have to navigate it. Like we came here.
It was our choice.
Where you want me to take?
I'm not taking you nowhere.
Nowhere, but
Yeah.
see that you arrived here, finish, all right?
Yes.
Sorry, I keep touching my.
Yeah, we came here. It's far from home, and the reality is,
One of the tell us.
the reality is, Newfoundland and Labrador is 98% Caucasian, right? And
Is that statistics?
yes,
accurate?
that's accurate. 98%.
In 2024.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's 98%, and there's only 2% minority,
That's crazy. And there's a lot of minorities.
right? So
sharing and
minor,
fighting
and
for
we are in that 2%, like us,
Yeah, that's what I'm
South
saying.
Asian,
All the
and
minorities are fighting for the two.
the natives too. So like there's, we're all in the 2%.
Yeah.
Right. So if you move in that reality, you okay. You know where you're going. If you're like, okay, how do I navigate this? So you find if there's a problem, you find a solution. I'm just solution based. I'm like, okay, how do I do this? Do I take a left? Do I take a right? I got to figure it out. I can't really expect it to be the way I want it to be, but there's at least some common ground there, right? There's different cultures coming together, and you got to find a way to mash the two. So
Put the puzzle.
yeah, so you start off with common ground, and then you start to talk about yourself, and it's like, oh, I grew up, it's different. Oh yeah, out here it's this way, and then so you try to find a way to connect that, and then once you find common ground with every time, so I know you got to do it every time sometimes, but it's okay. That's it.
All I heard from that, you don't think about it.
No, I think about it, but I just find a way to navigate it, right?
Find a solution. It's solution.
It's like I'm just solution. I'm like, okay, how do I?
So wait, the rest of us are what?
we are problematic.
The rest of us are
Problematic. You just want to fight.
But the majority of the time, I've actually worked with a lot of Black creatives. So there's a couple times I'm navigating, other, personalities, but a lot of the work has been with, my people.
Okay, so this is our Being Black on Set segment, basically, but we just play random games here. But this one, we have prompts done by our lovely executive producer behind the camera, Lisah.
Shout out to Lisah.
But Lisah said you must work for your money because usually we know what's going on, but today we don't know what's up. So we have prompts and we have clues, and we basically have to try and figure out what the answer to the question is. Correct?
She did say that these are the top 5.
These are
Top
the
five.
ones in your hand. They're the top 5 movies on Netflix at the moment.
Yeah.
Right now, my Netflix is full of Paw Patrol and Pokemon and cartoons.
Mine Korean movies, so I really.
So
Lisa's
this
just
top
out for
5
blood.
is not gonna help me.
This is from IMDb.
This is apparently from IMDb. DB.
I'm gonna say it because you never keep. She has an issue with acronyms and she just switches them. Say ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Let's move on.
All right.
Anyway, so let's start with the first one.
All right. So number 1, 2 people, P and F, I'm really hoping the F there is for fire and peace for something. Because two people reunite while on a war path of revenge against people who killed Peace family. You could at least put the names, the actual names.
Really?
In this movie, P faces a choice between the love of his life plus the fate of the universe. Who knows what this movie is? Because
Titanic.
She said top 5 in 2024.
It's
Sorry.
not 97.
The fact that you are in
Sorry.
Newfoundland does not say Titanic must be
97.
I don't like that you guys are judging me. Carry on.
Titanic. P and F.
No, isn't it? Oh, sorry. I take it back. The
One of the clue words someone got.
There's no
who is
clue
the
words.
fate of the universe?
But in this movie, P faces a choice between the love of his life and fate of the universe. But then he's also on a war path of revenge against people who killed P's family. And this is not a series. This is a movie.
Life of Pat. No. I'm really bad at this. Clearly.
Okay, Brian, you got it right. So can you say it again?
What was it?
John Wick. I don't even.
No.
Okay.
Dune.
I don't know it.
Dune.
So
Oh.
you knew Dune.
P. Who does?
And you couldn't
is
say it.
P Zendaya or Timothy Chalamet? I haven't watched Dune, guys.
Moving on quick.
Okay, number 2 because clearly we're starting. Joe.
That's actually correct.
If you guys need a lifeline, ask me.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give. We'll ask Lisah for hints. Oh, now you see it after after I was saying things. After
Number
saying
2.
things like Titanic, you just now see it. An origin story of a renegade warrior before her encounter and meet up with her team. Bonus tip: this was shot in the desert. Dune.
That does not. It can't be Dune again.
There's Dune number 2 now.
Oh my God.
Isn't there Dune 2?
It was
So
shot
they
in the desert.
Yeah, an origin story of a renegade warrior before her encounter and meet up with her team.
Question: are these all just action movies?
It's a her.
Her
One of
team.
the top,
So it's a girl.
Don't say top 5.
the top grossing movies of 2024.
So the most profitable. So we're talking
Yeah.
big blockbuster movies.
Sure, guys. In this economy,
Do
we
you
can't.
want a lifeline?
In this economy, we don't go to the movie theaters.
Give us a lifeline.
What's a lifeline?
This is a really good classic movie, and it was redone this year.
Oh.
Redone.
Oh.
Oh.
Shot in the desert.
I don't know it.
Oh.
No, that's not a classic.
No, but you
Oh,
Yeah, she was
I
shot
know it.
Oh.
It's right there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's not here. Here.
The
I
main
know it.
theme is shot in the desert.
Yeah.
And reunites
Her
with a
team. Her team.
And
Her
it's a
team.
female.
It's a female team. Her team. So
This
it's a
doesn't
girl-
help me.
It's a
Nothing.
girl in the desert and has
Black
a
So then just say it.
I'm trying to figure it out. Hold up.
Wait, Black Widow. Black Widow.
No.
Black Widow is the lady.
Think about a desert movie. What's a desert movie? I keep
It's
thinking
the
of Dune.
one. It's the shooting one.
Ratatata.
Ratatouille.
It's the shooting one
I just.
with
I
the
don't,
handsome man.
I don't feel.
The handsome man. in it.
Frozen. What?
It's not Frozen.
What?
Ah, yes.
Freaky.
Yes.
Who's
Mad
that?
Max, Furiosa. Yes.
Is Mad Max a woman?
The second version. The part 2. Damn, that's right.
Okay, I think we need to start watching grown-up movies.
Isn't Mad Max? No,
Matt, you knew this?
no, isn't Mad Max?
I haven't seen that one.
Okay.
Wait, isn't Mad Max the cartoon?
Moving
that breaks-
on.
I've seen the answers.
No.
Moving
Can I
on.
just say that? Can I just say the people behind the scenes are the
Moving-
ones answering these questions?
We'll shut up.
No. Okay, so
Silence on set.
This movie is a sequel. R enters puberty.
who?
R.
R enters puberty.
And experiencing brand new, more complex emotions. As she navigates teenage years, her old emotions try to adapt to the possibility of being replaced. What it is?
Inside Out.
That's what everybody knew. Emotions, yes.
No, you see, this is where I thrive. Cartoons is where I thrive.
Go ahead. ahead.
bringing
Read number
in
4.
Johnny and Powerpuff Girls, and I've been answering all these
Read
questions.
number 4.
Okay, number 4. A celebrity We're back in the ghetto, yo. A celebrity takes a black market drug that replicates the person's cells to temporarily create a younger version of the celebrity. Yebo.
No, the guy is Ryan. The guy's name is not Ryan.
It's a new one.
It's a new one. It's the same storyline then.
Okay, if I give I know the actor.
If it's black market
It's a
drug,
girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I know the lead actor. I forgot the title. of the
it's
movie.
very fine. Is his name not Ryan?
Ryan
Actor is
Secrets.
Demi
Oh, it's
Moore.
not Ryan.
Demi Moore.
is a
Okay.
female actor.
Is that Demi?
Oh
you
my
don't
God.
even know. You're saying like.
I know what the movie is. Yeah.
Yes, Demi Moore is the lead female actor.
So that's
And
close.
she has when she takes the drug, she
Yes,
turns into
Joe.
a smaller version. What's the name? I watched
You
the
got this,
trailer.
Joe. You got this. You watched the
watched the
trailer. Do it for us,
trailer.
Joe.
What's
Guys,
the
we got
title?
one out.
Give us.
The tip is that
There's no tip here. You didn't write nothing here.
Is it
in the prompt, that's where
the word is?
the word is.
Ooh, say
Black
it again.
market drug.
It's like,
Black market drug.
Yeah, the synonym of black market.
Synonym?
Can I see?
Bad
Takes a black
drugs.
market
Drugs are bad.
Replica. No.
Druggies.
Essence sells temporarily younger version.
Younger-
Versiona. Market.
So replica.
The synonym of black market drug.
White market. White market medicine.
Oh my god.
Legal tender. Legal pharmacy.
Illegal drugs.
Legal.
Illegal drugs. No, but she said
She said the
the
synonym of
black market. Black market is illegal. But can we just talk about this for a minute?
Synonym.
Why is black market drugs
It's
illegal?
black.
Why is it called? Why is it not blue market drug? But whatever. Let's go back.
Black
You know what?
market drug.
Where's my phone? So I can-
Illegal tender.
No.
No.
Crack.
Wait. No. I got it.
No. Go.
Black mirror.
No, babes.
Okay, can we start the first
The
letter?
synonym of
It's the dash.
What's the first
The
letter?
What's the
illegal.
word?
The
S. secret.
Hold on, look at. Ask how many words
How many words? Two. Is it a movie?
in the title.
This
This segment is called the and you're
9.
9 words. The secret drug.
No.
My secret addiction.
9 letters in the second word.
9 letters. Second. The,
It's 2 words.
the, and then the second word starts with an S.
Sorry, I'm calling you
Sequel. Sachet.
Sagittarius. Scope. I'm calling Lisah.
Sergeant.
What's the answer?
The substance.
I would have never got that. I completely.
No one even was gonna think about that. Substance isn't a black market thing. Substance is just substance. You
Okay,
you
number
failed
5.
us.
You got
I watched that
it.
movie. I saw it, bro. I saw it.
You know what? I have faith in us. Hey, we can do this. Number 5.
All right, number 5. A
Hey.
visionary architect.
Firstly, sorry, you have to do it more confidence because the way you rubbed your head already was saying we're gonna fail. Go ahead.
This one, yes. A visionary architect, L, and his wife flee a post-war society. Is it flee? Flee a post-war society to rebuild in another society. Their lives changed after taking on a mysteriously wealthy client.
How many words?
The Quiet Place.
No. There's war. Like, how do you shoot in a quiet place, man?
A visionary architect,
I told you where I thrive.
L,
I told you where.
and his wife. So there's 2 people.
Words. And the second word starts with a B. And it's the.
Bird box. No.
The
So,
second
bird.
word.
so the architect
cage.
in this point is like an architect, like he builds houses and
The
stuff.
cage.
No,
he's
the
an
second one
Oh,
starts with a B.
Why are you angry? Are we here together?
A post-war society to rebuild in another society.
What does the first one start with?
The.
It's the. Then the B is the second. That's
See your life now.
How many letters? The barbecue. I'm hungry.
9 letters.
What's
See,
up with
barbecue.
9?
Barbecue's 9.
The blossom. The
Who's in it?
who's in it?
So the stars are Adrian
Debrigé.
Brody,
Who's
Felicity
that?
Jones,
Who
and
is
Guy
that?
Percy.
The
The
brigade.
beekeeper.
The brigade.
Guy Percy. Okay,
The
I think I know this,
beekeeper.
but I
No,
think-
she said no.
Why is
Huh?
it's try
Oh,
again?
it's
The
not- it's not- it's
beekeeper.
not Richie. Guy Percy is the guy from Momentum.
The beekeeper.
No.
The
She
guy
said
from
no 3
Momentum,
times.
Guy Percy. I've
not
seen the
gonna-
trailer.
Brian
I've seen
knows-
the
what's
image.
the
I don't know
answer,
what the
Brian?
name is. That's a tough one. I haven't watched that one.
Okay, I'm gonna find the answer for this. You guys can keep your answers. The answer for that is the brutalist.
The Brutalist?
How?
Because he's an architect.
Yeah.
Brutalism. That makes sense.
How
No,
wait?
it does
how,
not.
No, it does. How does
No,
a
it does
brutalist
not.
architectism?
It's the school of architecture.
Oh.
It's on Netflix. As soon as you scroll through, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I know Guy Percy, and I've seen the image.
I just
didn't-
want to say.
I didn't look at the name.
Shout
better.
Out,
Do
shout
better,
out to the
Lisah.
executive producer of this episode,
you said what,
Lisah,
the white-
because
the
you
what?
clearly set us up for failure, and you wanted to
The
make us
white-
look like
Synonym
fools,
of-
and you succeeded. You succeeded. Now imagine we took
The
about
white
movies the
man.
whole
The
time.
white
We didn't get
man.
one right. We got one right.
Inside out.
The Lego tender. Okay. Best of luck to the editor of this episode who's sitting right.
Lots of big transcriptions, guys.
She's got to do the first sentence.
Best of luck to Kerry, who's gonna transcribe this. Best of luck to the editor, who is not happy, but really, what's he gonna do? He's gonna edit.
But that was, yeah. We were
Intense?
supposed to say that was a fun game. So, oh my gosh, that was such a fun game.
Yes, that's so much fun.
But yeah, I had so much fun on this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you for being the grandpa of our community.
I'm not that old, but yeah. I'll take it.
You take uncle, you can reject grandpa.
I
If you
realize
like-
when I go home
Yeah.
in my country, I'm young, and I come here.
Well,
I'm-
it is what
I'm
it
the
is.
oldest.
As the wise words of Job, you chose to come here.
You're right. You're right.
You chose to come
It's a
here.
decision. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so before we wrap up, if you were to do it all over again, knowing what you know now, what would your first 5 steps be?
First 5 steps.
Yeah. Imagine you've been shooting and
And don't say
you're
wake
shocked.
up, grab a camera.
If I was to do it all over again,
Yeah.
I don't think I would do it all over again. Like I think I'm just gonna go.
Okay, for the view, I gotta scrap that. For
I-
people watching, and if they were seeing this for the first time, I was like, ooh,
What
I want to
steps
be
should I
that
give?
guy.
What steps should I
What
give?
steps would
Okay,
you
so it's
give?
advice. Okay, I would not do it over again. I'll just take. I'm rolling with what I have. If it
like,
wasn't for this
I'm
path,
not
I
doing-
wouldn't be here. So
I'm not doing that
it's made me
again.
who I am.
So,
Great.
what would you?
The first steps. If you're really interested in this and you really love doing this, so I think a lot of the problems is knowledge, knowing how to get around it and figuring out the steps to get to it. So now with the efforts that everybody has done with occupying spaces and social media, you can go online and you can search production companies, as Kerry said. You can search different forums of how do I get mentorship, how do I get to this, or just talk to people. If there's people in your community, since the film industry, the Black creatives in St. John's are growing, you're gonna get more connections compared to what we started off with. So that's probably an easy first start. Just figuring out who's in the industry and connecting and going from there. You might figure it out as you go. The other thing is just pick up a camera. If you can't pick up a camera, use your phone. Just start shooting. Just shoot. Shoot as much as you can. I remember when I was starting off, there's nowhere that I went that I did not carry my camera. It was every day I was just taking my camera. I didn't know what I was going to shoot, but I'm just shooting just so I can practice. So the more you shoot, the more you practice, the better you get at it. So, and that shouldn't stop you because you don't have an expensive gear. You don't have, the tools. It shouldn't stop you because you can always get creative with what you have. It doesn't matter the tools. It helps, but it doesn't matter what tool you have. You just have to shoot. You'll always learn something. I think the third one will probably fall in the same category, just connecting with people in the community. The fourth would be
You know,
Make mistakes.
good one. Right.
so take it.
I'm taking it from you. Thank you. Make mistakes. It's part of the process. Make mistakes, but through mistakes you learn. So it's a learning experience. And try to always have a perseverance mentality. Always try to find ways. There's never, you can never stop. You just have to keep knocking at doors. You have to keep persistence. You have to keep doing it. That's the only way you're gonna get through anything. You just can't sit there and say, "Oh, I can't get this because this person did this. This person doesn't allow me to get in there." If they don't allow you, you make your own. Even if it's gonna take you 10 years, you just gotta keep doing it, right? So there's always a way to get to something. You just have to keep going. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Grandpa Joe, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Grandpa Joe.
Old
I feel like you keep on teaching people so much, mentoring. You give a lot of yourself. So I don't want to speak for all of the Black community, but like for myself, I'm just like super appreciative, that you chose this route and this path, because even though you're not old, but they're like, I feel like you crawled so that we can kind of walk.
Hop on your neck and fly.
Yeah.
You guys have it good now. It's not
Yes,
the best,
remind
but
us.
it's not the best, but it's amazing that you can now talk to somebody. You can get on set, and it's a bit of like even I don't want to call it a privilege. It's a
back in my
it's
day.
a pause. Back in my day,
Because we're gonna say the same
We
to the
couldn't
people
do-
coming.
right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, like I remember even my friend in Toronto. He said, you can not get into a film set in Toronto. It's so highly competitive. It's so competitive. To get your first hours to get in there, like you gotta know somebody. It's so complex. It's so many people. It's so competitive. And we're here in this province where you can have just a straight connection to. Let me talk to Micah. Let me talk to Matt. They'll get you into NIFCO so you can learn how to sound edit or master or something. Like the people are so close to you, even though it's so small, which makes it amazing. In other places, you can't get that connection, that close connection that you get here.
Definitely.
So we should learn to take advantage and see it as a positive thing, that we can talk to people that have production companies. You can't get that anywhere else. Nobody's gonna look at you or even look at your resume or say, "Oh yeah, come through." Nobody's doing that out there. It's very tough. Like I even remember I emailed. I think I was so desperate when I finally was like, okay, I came back to Newfoundland. I was like, I emailed Paul Pope, I think, and he responded. I was like, let me just shoot this shot. And then hey, I'm into production. I'm into filming. Okay, I don't know what I need to do. And he got back to me. He said, like, come see me some other time. And I think COVID happened, and I never got to connect with him. But the fact that he replied, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think he would even see my email.
Yeah.
So even just like writing an email. Was one
He
of the
replied.
things.
And if I was more persistent, I would have probably met him sooner. But I think COVID happened and we locked down. But the fact that you could just email him and he replied me, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was very shocked. So
For those who don't know, Paul Pope was the producer of Pope Productions, the late Paul Pope, and he's done a lot for film and TV. And it's just amazing that people who, are really like who do this as a thing on a daily are so accessible, and it's really quite a privilege. We're basically at the end of this episode.
Yes. If you've watched up until now, we're very grateful. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching. We appreciate you.
Follow, like, subscribe, comment, send us a DM. We will respond. We being Kerry and Ife, because I'm just the host.
But yeah, shout out to Celebrate NL for sponsoring this podcast. We appreciate you giving us the opportunity to celebrate diversity in Newfoundland and Labrador. Shout out to Lisah, who's our executive producer of this episode. Shout out. Thank you for embarrassing us.
Yeah.
And yeah, cool. That is
Well, it's a wrap. Thank you for watching.